Welcome, Vikings fans. This is the FullSkol Podcast.
Let's go!
People should come just to hear the intro, dude. Like, I need to watch the intro before every game just to get like, yeah, let's go, Paul.
I love, like, the best part about the intro is, like, when it switches to the logo on the beat, like, let's go.
Yeah.
I didn't do that, dude. That just, like, I put it in, and I would have lined it up that way.
Yeah.
That's how I would have done it. And
Actually,
literally, like, I put it in there, and I'm like, okay, let me see where this goes. I'm like,
It's perfect.
yeah.
Sweet. Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
That was
awesome.
awesome. It worked out good. But yeah. Another victory.
Victory. Yes, very, very good.
And
Well,
well, you know what? Before I get into it, let's do this. I want to play two. We got 2 videos this week. Two.
Nice.
Because Paul Allen makes everything better.
Mm-hmm.
So here we go.
Put you in a spot where it looks like you're a cinch to win, and then everything went haywire. Let's get a first down here, Sam. Bears rush 4. Darnold, he's going to throw right. Caught! Addison, he's killed him all day. Why wouldn't he right there? Darnold out of the shotgun, fires over the middle. Caught cold-blooded at the 40. Sweet move, JJ at the 45. Gets to the 50. Play action to Jones. No significant rush. Sam fires right. Caught! TJ's killing them to the 20-15-10. Out of bounds at the 9. And here comes Parker Romo. This is a 29-yard field goal between the hash marks to win it. Snap spot. Romo! Yeah!
I like how he called it. The second left his foot,
He knew it.
He was like, money.
He knew it. He knew it, dude. He
Yes.
knew it.
Yes.
Oh, that was so good. That was so. I mean, and the collective holding of breath by every Vikings fan ever when it comes down to a kick. It's like,
No, I felt good about it. That particular drive, since you brought that one up, 6 for 6 for 90 yards in overtime. Finished a day of 22 of 34, 330 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no turnover. Passer rating of 116.1.
Perfect drive. I don't want to derail it, but I was listening to some stuff today, and I was like, did he just say what I think he said? Did we kick that field goal not on 4th down?
Oh, yeah. Second down. Yeah, second down. Yep. Didn't even try it. Didn't want to take a chance.
I have mixed feelings about that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, because it's the game winner. Like that's.
I mean, we won.
Yeah. That's the faith he has in that dude, though. I mean, you know.
I guess. I mean, but that's my thing. Is like, so that does that mean he doesn't have that faith in the offense? But like you just said, he went 6 for 6. Went down.
Yeah,
I mean, like I said, I have mixed feelings. Like I vacillate on it. I'm like, oh no, that was the right play. And I'm like, oh, does that mean he doesn't like? Because Sam has turned it over. Now he hasn't turned it over in 2 games.
Yeah,
2 games.
And Aaron Jones put the ball on the ground again. You know, in the red zone on the goal line. Aaron
Jones right out of the freaking gate. It was like,
so
here we go. Here we go again. But
yeah, exactly. I mean, why?
We gotta go.
You know,
we gotta go to the locker room.
Here we go.
When I told you guys total team effort, all right, for however long it took last night, what else did I say? It wouldn't be perfect. All right, it wouldn't be perfect. All right, but I think when we turn on the tape, all right, a lot of guys in this locker room finding a way to grind out a lead. All right, we gave up a lead late. All the moment in the world, all right, says that we should not find a way to win that game. All right, momentum doesn't matter when you got what you got in this locker room. A bunch of brothers, no matter what it looks like, no matter who's got to pick up who. All right, we got everything we need in this locker room. All right, part of being in this locker room is being a family. All right, one of your brothers, all right, when we flew to Chicago last night, all right, he went to see his grandfather. All right, got a chance to see him, spent about 5 hours with him. He passed away this morning, early. All right, CJ Ham is one of our captains. I love this guy with every ounce of me. All right, and we got to be there for him right now. This guy showed up. All right, was willing to lay it on the line all day long. Love you, CJ Ham. All right, this guy was a game wrecker, got a huge sack when we had to have it. Knocked him backwards, gave us a chance. All right, 2 sacks, 4 TFLs. Why he's here, man. JG. All right, we said it would be all 3 phases. All right, all 3 phases. And there might not have been a bigger play all day than block field goal. This guy has overcome a hell of a road. All right, been waiting for that game where, when's he going to pop? When's it going to happen? When's it going to happen for him? All right, all this guy did was go 8 for 162, which is a career high, and 1 touchdown. Welcome to the party, Jordan Addison. About that time we needed a play. All right, Sam went to him another time. Had a clip for 7 catches for 114 yards. All right, awesome having this guy back, TJ Hawkinson. All right, this guy's going to accept this on behalf of the offensive line. All right, because I challenged you guys last night. I challenged you guys this week. The way we're coming off the rock, man. All right, there was a lot of good we're going to be fired up about on that tape. All right, making his 100th career start, and all the linemen that played in the game, Brian O'Neill. As a play caller, man, when you got a guy like this, all right, that you know, regardless of circumstance, regardless of whatever has happened, all right, all this guy did was kept pulling the trigger, making plays down the field, standing in there, whatever we needed, Sam Darnold gave us. Sammy D. All right, I want to finish with this. All right, road wins in the NFC North are hard. They're hard. All right, momentum can swing any which way, and you can flinch anytime you want. And it would be like, okay, maybe that's all right. But that. All right, we are on a grind and a mission the rest of this season. Every minute, every hour we work, we know we're chasing something special. And I cannot wait to do it every day with you guys. This is the most special group I've ever been around. Player for player, coach, every human being in here. I love this group, but we got to know something. Too much is given, much is required. We got to grind this thing out. You guys be ready to play 3 straight at US Bank Stadium. And go bring the noise. Every single week, we rock and roll. Sam Darnold, you got it.
Road Warriors. Here we go, fellas. Hey, yo. Hey, keep stacking these things, man. Hey, I love playing ball with you guys, man. Keep grinding, man. Keep getting better. Here we go. Vikes on 3. 1, 2, 3. Vikes.
Dude, I love that fire on.
We went without a help.
Hello.
Never mind. I didn't trim that one apparently.
I love the fire of KOC, dude. I love when he gets fired up like that.
Oh, dude, he like needs to be at my alarm clock. He just want to run through a brick wall, dude. Like,
yeah,
dude. I'm so fortunate. We as Vikings fans, I think need to pause for a moment and just realize how fortunate we are to have the notorious KOC as our head coach. Yeah. Like there's over the years, we have had some absolute clowns. We've had some characters, you know, we've had like, Zim, he was great when he first got in here. And then then that waned and that turned into a disaster. And right now we've got this young, almost brand new coach. This is what, his third season as a head coach. Mm-hmm. He's getting better every game. He's going to get better every season. And I think we have a generational coaching talent for this club. I don't see him going anywhere anytime soon.
Unless he wants to. That'd be the only thing. But why? I mean, I mean, you don't know what his mindset is, but the only way he ever leaves is if he wants to. He's going to be the Bud Grant. He's going to be here hopefully his whole career. I was just going
to say that. He's going to be he's this generation's the young Vikings fans come. This is Bud Grant for the next generation. For just 20 is the 20 Gen 30 years, Z Bud Grant.
As long as he wants to be here, like he'll be here.
Crazy. It's just awesome. And you know what? Quicey's cooking.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if we give him credit for the Daniel Jones things. I don't know if I don't want to jump the shark and step on your toes. I know you got some stuff you want to talk about with that when you want to get to it. But
we'll get to it.
Man, that's kind of a big signing, even though we may or may not even use him. But there's a lot that could happen there. But let's just talk about last week for now and go on from that.
Yeah. So, just looking at the numbers of the game, obviously. Let's see, where are we at here? Where do we go? Right here. Nope, that's not it. Well, we talked about Sam already. 330 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 22 of 34, 116.1 passer rating. 90 yards on that overtime drive. Okay, here we go. Nick Mullen, 1 for 1 again, 14. Nick Mullen is 2 for 2 on the season. He's amazing. And all he does is come in and throw first downs. Aaron Jones, 22 carries for $106.
2 for 2 on the season.
2 for 2 on the season, man. 22 carries for 106. That's an average of 4.8 with a touchdown. Aaron Jones, which is interesting, that stat as well. I might as well bring up since we're talking about Aaron Jones. It's the first time the Vikings running back has scored a touchdown, ran in a touchdown in the second half of a game in 27 games. That's all of last season and all of this season. We're in week 12, so maybe not quite. 17 games last year, 10 games this year. So we're in week 12. So week 2 of last year was maybe the last time that a running back ran in a touchdown in the second half. 106 for him. Jordan Addison, huge game, of course, 8 catches, 162 yards, average of 20.3 with a TD. Sabretooth came back big, 7 catches for 114, average.
Finally.
Right? Well, with Oliver going out and stuff like that, and I knew it was going to take a little bit. I was hoping it would be a little bit sooner than that, but he's back. And for me, is there any other notable? Not so much. Van Ginkel, I think we talked about him last week about the defensive player of the year. Did we talk about him last week about defensive player of the year? His numbers?
I think we mentioned it.
His numbers are insane. But defense showed up. But I think right in front of our eyes on Sunday, Sam Darnold all of a sudden found out, oh, wait a minute, TJ Hawkinson is a big target. This is a good place to throw the ball. I mean, I really think that just kind of like the chemistry just all of a sudden took off right there.
I hope so, because he was largely absent the first half, and we were all going like, "Where's TJ? Why on these third and shorts? Like what? This should be automatic. Yeah. Like how are we not getting, like, what is happening? Where is he?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, he's such a utility player. Like you can another blocker, you get like that little bump and dump. Like you should get 3-4 yards with him every time. Come up. Especially on a play action, where you set him up to block, but he just hits and releases, turn around, you dump it over the top, boom, catch, there's your first down. 4 yards, big deal, boom, reset. Like you should be able to do that at will. Yeah. Then
they can.
He can go deep and catch the ball like he did, Like it's been frustrating as a fan to watch and be like, where the hell is TJ? He's been back for weeks now. What is going on? But what a game. And I was watching it and I had a Bears fan right next to me. It was very interesting. Gave me some perspective because he's very cool. We're very cool. And he's just like, wow, even when we were up 10, right, with hardly any time left on the clock. But before the game even really started, we started, talking about like which fan base has it worse. And I kind of gave it to him. I'm like, oh, you've had it way worse for way longer. Since 85, you guys haven't been relevant. So whatever, I get it. But I'm like, listen, you're not going to hear me talk any shit, because until that clock has no time on it and the Vikings have more points, I don't relax, and I can't relax. And this game was proof of that, because we gave up a 10-point lead, winning in overtime. It was just ridiculous. So it gave me some decent perspective. But even at the end of that game, it was another one of those kind of like the last couple where it's like it's a win, but it almost felt like a loss, because it just, how did we let this happen? Like there were some frustrating things in there. And I've had time to kind of process it, and I've come away with a different take on it. First of all, the Vikings are 9-2 in the National Football League.
Yes.
And I think my problem has been comparison is the thief of joy. And I'm like, even though we're winning or we're finding ways to win and we've got that grit and whatever, there's Detroit, and Detroit's blowing teams away. And I'm like, well, we're winning, but there's Detroit. Yeah. I got to stop that. Don't worry about Detroit, because I remind myself is we almost beat Detroit already.
Yeah.
I think if there's any team in the league that stacks up against Detroit, it is the Minnesota Vikings.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter. They can go into whatever team and they can put 40 on them. They're not playing the Vikings.
Yeah.
Then that team didn't show up. That's on them.
Yeah.
Like I can't keep comparing what we're doing against a different team to what Detroit's doing and do another team. I got to look at like what's in front of me, and man, I'm not pulling my money out, dude. There's still a good chance. Like I saw a TikTok earlier today that had like all the playoff teams and their percentages, what the payout was, like plus 150 or whatever the thing was. It's like, dude, the Vikes are right there.
Yeah.
Like we're not that, obviously Lions are minus whatever right now, but the Vikes are only like plus 100 or something. Like it's not even.
Yeah. It's not that big of a stretch. Yeah.
No, they're not. In the playoffs, anything can happen. And what would be the most Detroit Lions thing ever?
Yeah.
To have this kind of a dominant season, get into the playoffs and choke it away.
Yeah.
And as long as we're still there to take advantage of it, I mean, I think we beat the Chiefs if it comes down to it, though. I don't know that the Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl.
I don't know about that.
I've kind of been saying that for a while now, just because like they're, I brought it up before, like they're barely winning, like less than one score. And when the Vikings were doing that, they're like, they're not a real team. They're only winning by less than one score. Now the Chiefs are doing, it's like, oh, Mahomes can always find a way to win, blah, 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 blah.
Well, I think that the argument there is just that they're two-time defending Super Bowl champions, and they're barely winning, and they're finding ways to win. So I think it's kind of like the Bulls in the 90s, and they won 6 titles. Now they had a couple seasons, 92, I think it was, or 90. Let's see, they won 91, 92, 93, 94, 95. They're off 96, 97, 98. So I think it was like 94 or 5. Anyway, they went 72-10. At that time, it was the best record in the league until the Warriors went 73-9, I think. But for a while there, they were kind of bored in the regular season, and then when the playoffs come, then all of a sudden they turn it up. So that's kind of my mentality with Kansas City. Obviously they're not as dominant looking as what we've seen in the past, but it just seems like you have to just give them the benefit of the doubt, because they've done it 2 times in a row now where they get into the playoffs and then they just go on a tear and Mahomes plays the best football of the season and they end up winning the Super Bowl. So I get the argument of the Vikings at 13-4 2 years ago, KOC barely on his first year as a head coach. They're barely winning these 1-score games, all this kind of stuff. There's no resume. You know what I mean? There's no resume for people to say, yeah, but the Vikings keep winning. So I mean,
I get that, but also just because you have 2 titles doesn't give you an extra 10 points to start the game.
no.
Last year's record has no bearing on today's game. Like, whatever. I mean, point being is it'd be one thing like if they only had 3 or so games where they came back and they showed that grit and they pulled it out. But it's just like almost every time, like they're barely pulling this out. And I just don't think you can carry that into the postseason.
Yeah.
I agree. There's such a slim margin of error in the postseason that if that's your every game through the regular season, I don't think you can count on that in the postseason to carry through when other teams are getting better and better and better. And you're still barely winning.
To barely beat the Carolina Panthers by a field goal at the end of regulation, there's something wrong. The Carolina Panthers are trash. They are a terrible team.
Super trash.
Yeah,
but again, like we always say, you can't take any team for granted because they're still a team in the NFL. So, Carolina proved that for sure. They have no reason to fight as hard as they do other than to play spoiler, and they're, they got after it. So, but I thought the Bears game as a fan was frustrating to watch, but for most of the time we had it well in hand. And that again, the first drive right there, knocking on 7 points, and we fumble it away yet again.
Yeah.
Obviously overtime doesn't happen without that.
They kept showing Aaron Jones.
I guess the Bears can say
he was livid. Aaron Jones was livid. They kept showing him on the national broadcast. He was sitting there just fuming. And I get it, but he dropped that. I mean, that fumble they put on Sam 2 weeks ago with the pitch, that was on Aaron Jones. That was not on Sam. And then he fumbled, I think, one other time on a tackle like that where he got stripped as well. So it's tough. I actually took away from that game feeling better than when we beat the Colts. What was it? Was it the Colts that we barely beat 12-9 the week before that? What was that? Last week or two weeks before?
Or no, it was Titans.
The Titans. No, that was 20. That was 23-13. The Titans was. The Jaguars was the 12-7. And that's when I was kind of like, we don't feel good about that. But for me, and KOC touched on it a little bit in his press conference, and I think there in his locker room speech, is that, and you and I both know, we've talked about this, that momentum is a real thing. And we had zero. Almost, if there's a negative momentum, there's negative on the Vikings side going into overtime. And 6 for 6 for 90 yards to march down. They get the ball. We hold them on defense, and then we just march right down. And we probably could have got 7 if KOC wanted to, but kick the field goal on second down. Why not? If something happens, bad snap, you just jump on it, and then you got an extra down. So I'm all for the early down field goal to try to win it, just in case something bad were to happen. But that showed so much heart to me that I came away from that game feeling like, you know what? That in-game adversity to me goes a long way going forward, because now we've been here. We're in this tight game. We gave up a lead on a team that we had handily, and a couple comedy of errors and, the perfect storm and blah, 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 whatever. And then they end up tying this game. But to show the kind of resiliency and the heart, and Sam Darnold just goes out there and just starts throwing strikes and standing. I mean, to me, they grew up a little bit right there. That I feel way better this week than I have in the past couple of weeks. And to your point, like you said, because we always look at Detroit and say, well, Detroit's doing this and Detroit's doing that. But like you said, I've kind of changed my perspective. We're still 9-2. We're one of the best 3, maybe 4 teams in the NFC, in the NFL, probably. So yeah, we can't compare. We can't be, the prom queen runner-up looking at the prom queen saying, well, she's cuter than I am. No. Just because Detroit's blowing people out doesn't mean that we're not just as good as we are. It's, we're right there. We're right there. No doubt.
Well, when you look at the playoff picture too, it kind of gives you a false sense, in my opinion, of where the Vikings are, at least in the power rankings, in my opinion, if we just stick to the NFC, because we're a wild card spot and we still have to play. I mean, Green Bay is just down
right
one
there.
game on us. So, I mean, they're right there sniffing at the door. So we can't let up off the gas at all. But at 9-2, and you're looking at other teams that have playoff spots right now that are ahead of us. You know, you go first seed, second seed, third seed, fourth, and we're like fifth seed. And you're like, oh man, we're all the way on at 5. It's like, well, yeah, but we have a better record than the other 3. Well, no, we're tied with the Eagles. I think Eagles are also 9-2. Otherwise, the other 2 teams they're barely over 500.
Yeah,
so,
6-5 and 6-5. Yeah, they're both 6-5. Yeah, and you know, I've said this for multiple years. There's got to be something different. I understand. I understand that the winner of each division gets in, but okay, you're in and you get an automatic wild card spot. But the better records.
Yeah, but should that give you a seed? Yeah. Does
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
no, I kind of agree with that.
Yeah,
if you have a way better record.
It should just be the top 8 teams, and they just go right down the line. Number 1 gets the bye or whatever, and then the other ones play each other. You know, the top 7 teams, I guess, whatever, and that's just it. And they just boom, 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 and the better record gets the home games, and away you go. I mean, it's tough because then there may be a division that's not represented at all. But if you're that bad, then you don't deserve to be in there, in my opinion. You just don't deserve it. Like, why do you get a playoff spot just because you won your division and you won it below 500? There's been years in the past where people have won at like 7-9. They're or at 8-8. You know, when it was 16-game season, and then they're like 500 or a game below, and they win their division because their division is trash. So they get a playoff game and they get a home playoff game. Like, there's got to be something said about that. Whatever. It is what it is.
You just got to know that you're good enough, that we're better than those teams. Or you hope you are anyway. So then when you play them, I mean, it's kind of, in a way, it benefits us. We're the 5th. They're going to play the 4th seed, and the 4th seed shouldn't be in there because they're at 9-6 or whatever, whatever the record might be. We should stop them. So we should get, it should be, a near guaranteed playoff win for us.
The problem is just that it's on the road. That's the biggest thing. Just looking at the playoff picture, since you brought it up, as of right now, we are definitely the 5th seed, and it's the first team out because you get 4 division winners. Obviously the Lions, and then it's the Eagles in the East, and then the Seahawks are in the West. The Eagles are 9-2. Seahawks are leading the West, NFC West at 6-5, and the Falcons are leading the NFC South at 6-5. And so we would play the Falcons because it would be 1 seed gets a bye, 2 play 7, 3 play 6, and 4 and 5 play each other. So right now we would play Kirk O'Chains in Atlanta on Wild Card weekend.
Well, we have to wait. In 2 weeks, we get to see Kirk come back to U.S. Bank.
Yeah, what Beeflo has for him. Yeah.
But it took me a while, but I came around with the Bears win. Huge Thanksgiving coming up.
Yeah.
For us as watchers. Yes. We're the only NFC North team not playing
tomorrow. Yes. As we're recording this Wednesday night before Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving to everybody, by the way.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Probably get this I don't know, tomorrow maybe.
On Thanksgiving. I should be able to get it up.
Watch it while you're watching football.
Yeah, I doubt it. I doubt it. Watch it in the morning while you're putting the final touches.
Yeah, exactly.
As you're putting the turkey in.
While you're carving the turkey, yeah.
Yeah. Before the other games start. But that's huge. I mean, God, man, do I want the Bears to pull off an upset. That would be so huge for us. I mean, huge.
And you never know. They're it's in Detroit, right? Yeah.
It's unlikely. I expect a blowout, but you never know.
I saw something, or no, I played basketball Sunday night with a bunch of Lions fans and stuff like that, and they were talking about something about the Bears record. I mean, the Lions record on Thanksgiving. And it's not good. They don't.
I don't know. Those are weird stats. Although it's a really short week, though.
Yeah,
for
it
them.
is. Yeah, for sure.
But it's also short for the Bears too. So
Yeah.
I do feel like the Bears are sniffing it. They should have won against Green Bay. There's an argument that they definitely could have beat the Vikings. If we wouldn't have blocked the field goal, and everything pans out, it doesn't go into overtime, Vikings just straight up lose. So I don't think that the Bears are as trash as their record. So they might be able to let's see what kind of fits they give Detroit. But for the Vikings, we go on to play Arizona. And they're doing they kind of laid an egg against the Seahawks last week, but before that they'd been playing really good. And I think Murray can give us fits. I think we always struggle with those rushing quarterbacks, those scrambling quarterbacks. And he can definitely do that.
Yeah, the Lions have lost. The last time the Lions won was 2016 on Thanksgiving Day against the Vikings, 16-13.
2016 was the last time they've won on Thanksgiving. They didn't even
they
win
are
last year on Thanksgiving.
And 45. No, 37-45 and 2 on Thanksgiving. And last year they got beat by the Packers. Year before that was the Bills. Year before that was Chicago, Houston in 2020. The Bears again in 2019. The Bears again in 2018. The Vikings in 2017 we beat them, and then the Vikings on 2016 is the last time they won 16-13. So
wow.
It's a thing. It's a thing. And the Bears have beaten them 2 times in a row, or 2 times in a row. The last 2 times that they've played, the Bears have beat them on Thanksgiving. So the trauma is real for Lions fans too, because they have been so trash for so long. And so I brought it up. I always joke with these guys like, "Oh, man, that's an easy win for you guys," blah 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 blah. And they're like, "I don't know. We're like 0-9, or the last we haven't won in forever. So 8 years they have not won on Thanksgiving in 8 years. So the other thing you could be like, well, they're probably due, But
yeah,
I think you're right though. The Bears are better than their record. Who is it that always says you are what your record is? But they are a good team. They are a good team. Like you said, they barely lost. They should have lost. They should have beat the Commanders on Hail Mary. That guy's an idiot. They should have beat the Packers, and they got blocked the field goal. By all intents and purposes, they had a chance to beat us with our mistakes this last week. I'm thankful that they didn't. So you never know. They might show up there, and maybe Detroit kind of looks past them because they have the Bills next week. So there's a chance, and as long as we're kind of discussing that, I think that we might as well go to the playoffs and how the Lions kind of what we have going on. Yeah, so the Lions play the Bears. Oh no, then they play the Packers at home next week. They have the Packers and then the Bills. So they actually have a pretty tough stretch. Bears Thanksgiving, yeah, whatever. And they get that little kind of mini bye because it's on a Sunday. No, wait. December 5th. That's a Sunday night game. So, yeah, they have a good layoff before the Packers come to Detroit. And then the Bills come to Detroit 10 days later at 4:25. What? The Lions already had their bye, didn't they? Yeah. How can it be 10 days?
10 days later.
The following Thursday. Wow. The following Thursday. So they play Thanksgiving Day. They play December 5th. What is December 5th? That must be Monday night. Against the Packers. And then December.
League's giving them.
Oh, December 5th is a Thursday. Okay, so they play this Thursday. They play next Thursday night. And then the 15th is Sunday afternoon. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So
that makes more sense.
Thursday, Sunday afternoon. Anyway, but the Packers come into town and then the Bills. So as far as jockeying for position between us and them, they need to lose a game. They need to lose one game. We need to win out, and then they need to lose a game because the tiebreakers we're gonna have to go through this quick because we got to talk about Daniel Jones. The tiebreakers is head to head, which would be 1-1. They beat us. We have to beat them week 18. So this all comes down to week 18, which in my opinion could be for the number 1 seed in the NFC. Obviously, it's going to be for the division. All these kinds of things.
Which is what the league wanted, and that's why they scheduled it this way.
Yeah, and it'll be flexed. It'll be a Sunday night or a Monday night game for sure. It'll be prime time. It'll be the only game on. So it's a head-to-head, and then within the conference, which would be the same because they would have swept everybody else. We have a loss to them. They have a loss to us. And then it's the best one-loss tied percentage in common games. That's where we lose the tiebreaker. If they don't lose a game and we went out and we beat them in 18, they still get the number 1 seed because they have the head-to-head. It's tied. The division is tied at whatever, 2 games against Detroit, 2 games against 2 games against the Bears, 2 games against the Packers, and then 1-1 for us. So that would be 5-1 in the division. And then the best winning record against common games, we lost to the Rams and they didn't. We've beat everybody else the same. We've all played the same. The AFC South, Houston, Jacksonville, Tennessee. We all played them. They're going to play the 49ers, which they'll probably win. But we beat everybody. But we lost to the Rams. They beat the Rams. So if it comes down, if they don't win, if they don't lose another game until they lose to us in week 18, they still get the number 1 seed because they have the head-to-head. I mean, they have, the better win percentage against the team that we lost to. So we need them to lose 1 game is what it comes down to. Bear
down. Like if the Bears can do it, that's huge. That's 2 games for us. Yeah. That's one less.
Well,
that's one more divisional loss.
Yeah. If the Bears win tomorrow and they still have to play the Packers and the Bills and they drop another one between there and we win out, then we're number 1 in the NFC. Like that.
Well, it gives us a cushion too, even if we don't win out, if we lose to them in game 18, I think we still take it.
No, well, yes.
No, it goes back to that commonality.
No, because they would lose to the Bears, and we won't lose to the Bears. You understand? So it would go right to the conference. It would only just be head-to-head.
Correct. We would only have 1 loss. We would only have
in the division. Yeah. So it would only go to the second tiebreaker, which is the division tiebreaker.
That's right.
And if they lose to the Bears or the Packers, ideally, we need them to lose a game. But ideally, if we had our druthers, if everything worked out, if this was the chosen season, they need to lose to either the Packers or the Bears. And we still have the Packers and the Bears. We still have to play them again. Yeah. But both at US Bank Stadium. So, we're just assuming that we're going to win those games, then we win the division. We get more than likely the number 1 seed in the NFC. We get a bye in the first round, and everybody comes to US Bank Stadium all the way to the Super Bowl. All the way to the Super Bowl.
What a turnaround that would be. Can you imagine?
No, I couldn't. I can't imagine it. I mean, I don't. I almost, as I was prepping for the show, I'm like, do we even talk about it?
Talk about it. Start spending that Super Bowl money already.
You know what I mean? I'm like, do we even talk about it? But then I'm like, you know what? It's we're a different team. KOC's good juju covers all of our fans' bad juju. It covers it all. All the black magic, all of the everything. KOC is the great equalizer.
Well, I'm going to do my best to start being a more positive fan in the moment.
Yes.
And stop comparing ourselves and the team to Detroit. And just like, we're winning. Let's just face the team in front of us. Like, we're not playing Detroit. We're playing whoever we're playing. We're going to play the Cards next. So it's like, we don't need to be Detroit. We don't need to match how big they beat their team if they beat their team. We just need face the opponent in front of us and don't worry about it. But we picked up Daniel Jones.
Yes.
Which, the Giants organization, what an absolute shit show that is. Yeah.
They fired their head coach. They fired their GM. So here's the kind of what I'm gathering on the Daniel Jones. a lot of teams wanted him. Daniel Jones was a free agent. So once he clears waivers, which was Monday, they were started, of course, asking KOC, and he's like, I'm not going to talk about it this time. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Ian Rappaport, Adam Schefter reported that the Baltimore Ravens and the Minnesota Vikings were, top two teams that they're looking at. So what it basically came down to is that Daniel Jones get to pick the team that he wanted to go to because he's a free agent. Like he didn't have to go anywhere. He didn't have to because the Giants didn't trade him anywhere. He was unrestricted to go wherever he wanted to. So the reason that it makes sense, and I tweeted that out. I mean, I messaged that out to a couple of different group chats that I was on. They're like, "Are we really want him? We don't want that." I'm like, no, we want him. Here's the reason why. And it even came in better because he came in as a practice squad team member right now. He signed to the practice squad. All that means is just that we're going to give him a week or two to kind of get used to it, and then they're going to move him up, onto the active roster. Is the thought. KOC in his press conference today did say that we're going to keep 4 quarterbacks on the roster, but I can't imagine them keeping Brent Rippon as the number 3,
right.
active, like or even Nick Mullins. I know Nick Mullins has been doing a great job, but it's Daniel Jones. So just think about this. Before I get into the specifics. We have 3 quarterbacks under contract: JJ McCarthy, Sam Darnold, and Daniel Jones, that are top 10 overall picks in their respective drafts. Daniel Jones, I think, was 2018, 2018, I think. And they're all under the age of 27. Top 3 of they're all top 10. He was number 6 in his draft class. Sam Darnold was number 3 in his draft class, which was Baker Mayfield draft class, I think, 2019. And then, of course, JJ was at 10. We picked him up at 10 just this past year. So he comes in as a practice squad player right now. So as of right now, if he were to stay a practice squad player, we pay him $100K to be on the team. Right now, the way I understand it is that if he were to come onto the active 53, it'd be about $375,000.
It's league minimum, basically, if I understand it correctly.
It's $375,000 because it's prorated for how many games are left and he's actually on the active roster. So if it takes a couple weeks, that number probably comes down. So now Sam Darnold playing the best football of his life. He's on a 1-year contract. More than likely, he is going to get paid somewhere. Do we pay him, knowing that JJ McCarthy is our future? I don't know. Here comes in Daniel Jones. So if Daniel Jones decides to go somewhere else, or if we trade him or whatever, we release him, stuff like that, we not only do we only have to pay him max $375,000 for the rest of this season, which I think is going to be less than that because he's not on the active roster, at least this week. And it drops every week. Every game that's less that he's on the active roster, that number comes down. But if he signs somewhere else, we get a compensatory pick as high as maybe a 3rd rounder. And so when you're talking about, $375,000 for you and me, it changes our life forever. But in a salary cap or in a NFL team, like that's nothing. It's zero. It's like nothing. It's not even
gumball change.
League minimum is, I don't know, over $1 million, for the whole season. And he's coming in with 6 games left to go. So, but, there's a reason. I mean,
according to KOC, he called us. Like he
did he?
Picked up the phone and he's like, I want to come to Minnesota.
Well, why would you not?
Why would you not? But also it's like you just made KOC and Quicey's job really easy. Like, okay.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, exactly.
Pack your bags, son.
So here's the thing that you I'm glad that you started off with, we should be thankful for having KOC because, well, you know what? Before I get into that, let's look at some of these numbers here. So the Giants still owe him $11.7 million this year. He had $81 million guaranteed on his 4-year contract, and so by the end of this season, he'll have made $108 million from the Giants. 108. So Daniel Jones is not worried about his money. Here's where it talks about if Jones stays on the practice squad, he'll make a little over $100,000 for the rest of the season. That's according to Tom Pelissero. If or when he signs to the 53-man roster, he'd make as much as $375 this year, depending on how many weeks are left. So very small commitment. And like I said, he came out 6th overall in the 2019 draft. But so look at Sam Darnold and what KOC has done to him. Look at Kirk Cousins and what KOC did for him as far as getting him out of his shell and turning him into a better quarterback. This is a safe space for quarterbacks to come and resurrect their career. Sam Darnold is going to get paid by somebody, probably not us, maybe, I don't know, but he's definitely going to be the backup because JJ is the future. So Sam Darnold goes bounce around, and then he comes here. KOC speaks his wisdom over him, gets his head right. I mean, last year he was with Kyle Shanahan. I'll give him that. And so that was the beginning of this journey. And that I think that was a very stable environment, obviously, and all these kinds of things. But KOC comes in here. So what do you think that he could do with a Daniel Jones? And go ahead.
It could be amazing. And I know a lot of fans and a lot of analysts, that JJ's the guy and McCarthy's the guy. He's going to come in when he's healthy. He's going to play. And I'm not sure about that. He missed a year with this injury, right? He's not, so he's sitting back and now he's a student of the game, and that's great. But you can't substitute time on the field.
Yeah.
Again, with that said, though, I agree. I think Sam Darnold goes somewhere. He's going to get paid with a team that really needs a good quarterback. And I think now that we have Danny Dimes, we can let him go. Mm-hmm. And we have a very budget friendly quality quarterback that KOC can coach up for sure.
Yes.
Who he's going to be happy as pigs and shit to be coached up by KOC, knowing that he's likely going to get replaced by JJ. But I'm fine with JJ sitting another year behind another veteran.
I agree.
Unhurt, playing, maybe getting, maybe God forbid, some garbage you come in, you play a couple plays, and you sit back down and you go back out, the whole Nick Mullins thing. And then, I don't know, maybe Dan Jones is great. Maybe we go deep in the playoffs with him. We keep him on. You've got this Drew Bledsoe kind of thing going. You got you've got the Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers thing going on. Like, how many years did they sit back and all of a sudden, Favre's down. Packer fans, we're fucked now. Aaron Rodgers comes in and it takes about 3 plays to go, Brett who?
Oh, wow.
That could be McCarthy.
Yeah.
If he sits behind a quality quarterback for a couple seasons and there's something to be said too, like throwing him to the wolves and learning in real time. The Bears quarterback, brain fart.
Justin Fields or Caleb Williams.
And he's starting to get it. I feel like he's getting better and better every week. But man, sitting behind guys that are doing it, especially when you're doing it well and you're doing it with a coach like KOC, and you're also learning with Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison and TJ Hawkinson and Speedy.
Nobody has better weapons. Nobody has better weapons than us. Nobody. I don't care what anybody says.
Saquon Barkley.
Wow. But I'm talking about overall in every position. Nobody has better weapons than us. I would fight to the death. Like, no, you have the best.
Last week was prime example of that, and something that we've been talking about and kind of getting frustrated with. Like, where was this? Go ahead and double JJ. You got Addison. Why wasn't this happening before when they were double? Yeah. That's the thing. Yeah, they're double and triple and JJ. They're like, we're not going to let him beat us. That's fine. Yeah. Jordan Addison, free 3 will just have a career day. How about that? Yeah. Oh yeah, and our tight end at over 100 yards. How about that?
Well, to me, that's what you just hit on it. It's the return of Sabretooth. It's the return of TJ Hawkinson, because you have to game plan for him. He is a top 2 or top 3 tight end in the league. He might be number 1. Like, I know George Kittle's putting some numbers up, but now that he's back and he's healthy, I mean, could you imagine what he could have done if he would have been able to play the whole season? So the fact that he's back and that you actually have to game plan for him, and how Aaron Jones has resurrected, his kind of career. Like, I don't think that it was really bad when he left Green Bay. like who has weapons like us, like the Minnesota Vikings, that the opposing defense on a week-to-week basis has to game plan for a running back, a tight end, 2 wide receivers, and possibly a 3rd wide receiver. Like nobody. Like, okay, you have Carolina.
Detroit.
Detroit has the 2 running backs, and they have Amon-Ra, and they have that Williams dude. But Amon-Ra is their best wide receiver by far. Their number 2 is definitely not JJ and Jordan Addison. But Sam Laporta has been trash. I don't care what they say. A lot of my friends around here that are fans are like, well, you could have TJ. He's overpaid, blah, blah, blah. No. Look at the numbers between Sam Laporta and TJ Hawkinson, even with the shorter amount. And TJ, I mean, he's right there. Like Sam Laporta has had a trash season. He is not TJ Hawkinson. So why would you not want to come here? The other thing that came to mind with the Daniel Jones signing is that it just brings on more of like these other free agents, these bigger free agents be like, what's going on in Minnesota? Everybody wants to go there. We have the best, what was it last year? Voted best facility in the league. Best facility in the league. Best ownership. Best team.
Up. Oh, hold on. There you go.
Okay. You've been kind of back and forth too.
Now you're good.
I just figured it was mine. So, but we have the best facility, the best, coaching. I like people want to come to Minnesota. So the future going forward, JJ McCarthy, all this is okay. Yeah, that's great. But if somebody leaves to bring in a big top free agent, especially like late in the season toward the trade deadline next year, whatever, going forward, like, why would you not want to come here? Because people want to go there. Daniel Jones calls us, hey, I want to come be a Viking. Why would you want to do that? Because you guys are amazing.
So, listen, the notorious KOC, right? He does so much that I think he's playing – everybody else is playing chess, and he's playing 4D chess.
Oh, yeah.
To go up to Caleb Williams at the end of that game and talk into his ear and give him some flowers and pump him up, and he's the enemy – And at that point, I saw that. I'm like, that shit can play dividends down the line, right? Mm-hmm. He's not burning. Not only is he not burning bridges, he's building bridges. He's he's putting everybody on notice that he's the best coach in the league. You want to come play for me someday? You're awesome. And he's saying that by like, you're awesome. Keep your head in the game. Whatever he said in his ear, right? And they asked Caleb Williams about it, and he's like, it's just, it means a lot when you hear, opposing coach, it takes time, comes over to you, and compliments you and stuff like. Who else is doing that? Who else has ever done that? Yeah. Like, this is severely some next level shit. Yeah.
KOC is building his notorious repertoire, or resume across the league as a quarterback. I want to go there. Look at what he did for Sam Darnold. Resurrected his career. Sam Darnold is going to get paid tens of millions of dollars because he came to Minnesota and was under KOC.
Yeah, there may be a Christmas card every year, no matter where he plays, going to the O'Connell.
Here's a check. Here's $1 million. Thank you for my $100 million contract. I mean, seriously, this dude is like you said, it's next level. And he's the coach of the Minnesota Vikings, dude. I can't. Okay, you know what this? You know what this all does? All in one big, nice purple and gold ball, is that it just reminds me of I stop comparing. Enjoy the season for what it is. We're 9-2. We have an amazing the future is just ridiculous.
The future's pretty bright. There's a lot of teams there's a lot of teams that are suffering, that are going to suffer cap hits, and they're burning bright, but they're going to burn out, and I don't know how they recover. It's going to be a long road. There's quite a few teams out there that are in trouble, and the Vikes just aren't it. We're set. Our immediate future looks really good. Yeah. When people wanted to just wholesale slash cut and burn with Kirk Cousins, let's start from the ground up and blah, 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 blah. Thank God nobody listened to your clown ass, because here we are, a competitive rebuild, if you will, and we're just don't even call it a rebuild. We're just competitive, dude. With him at coach, and Kwesi helping him,
and Kwesi.
giving him and giving him the weapons he needs.
Yes.
And
the cap space and the money. I mean, yeah,
dude. And this Daniel Jones thing is huge, whether we use him or not. Like he get like you said, if we get some draft capital out of him, nothing else costs us virtually nothing.
Next to nothing. Yes. I mean,
this was a no-brainer. I mean,
it's huge. Like, he's
able to do that and not have any quarterback controversy.
Yeah.
Like no one, like there was no like, oh, does he not have faith in Sam? No, it had nothing to do with Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold's a guy, but this guy calls me up and like, hey, I want to be a Viking. Like, pack your bags, you're cheap.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah. The 6th overall pick in 2019. Yeah. Come on, let's go. And KOC has been building his quarterback whisperer mystique his whole career, because he's had contact with all of these people. He was talking about how he had Daniel Jones over. They had him over at not in Minnesota, but wherever he was at before at the Rams or wherever he started, New England or something like that, where he got to spend like a whole day with him, get to know his family, all this kind of stuff. And a lot of times I feel like KOC, or at least sometimes I've wondered if he just blows a lot of smoke up people's ass, because he's always like, nobody wants you out there more than me, but I'm the head coach and I'm not putting you out there. I'm like, how can you say that? Nobody wants you out there more than me, but you just sit over here and wait. I'll call you when I need you. And then I never call you. But he's building like these relationships, and he talks about that all the time, about the relationships that he has. And he's got avenues going to every direction of every team, every person.
4D chess,
4D chess.
4D chess.
The dude is insane. So yeah, I am super pumped about Daniel Jones. Whatever it looks like, I have no idea. Go ahead and get rid of, bring him up in next week or the week after. Let him be the backup, or even put him as the number 3 in the depth chart. Like, you can't keep a Brett Rippon or even a Nick Mullins. This dude is a top 10 draft pick. He started 70-some games. He's got a ton of knowledge. Is he great? No, but everybody said Sam Darnold wasn't great either. And look what KOC has done to him.
And what happens in the playoffs? God forbid you have a cascade of injuries like what happened to the 49ers, right?
Yes.
Like,
where Brock Purdy
every time one went down, you're like, oh, they're screwed. And then the next one up, he was great. And that one went down, you're like, now we're really screwed. Our third string. Yeah. And then third string ends, and he starts balling out, right? Yeah. So
now he's your franchise quarterback. Yeah.
We have that now. Like, okay. That's not a bad insurance policy we have depth at quarterback now for a playoff run. God forbid some injuries happen,
Yeah, no, for sure. Without a doubt.
I mean, I'd love to see. I would love to see Darnold get to hoist that lumber.
For sure.
Did you see that the Simpsons had him already put him as lifting it up?
Yeah. And the Simpsons
like one of their latest episodes. I think I saw something like that.
Way back when they called it way back when. Dude. Yeah.
So there's that.
So anyway, so that's the Daniel Jones. It's definitely interesting to see. Really, at this point in the game, at this point in my faith in KOC, I don't question what they do anymore, because, like you said, it's 4D chess. It's perfect. You gave the perfect analogy. People say chess and checkers. Now everybody's playing chess, but KOC's playing on 4D. He's playing like 2-tiered chess. Like it's not even. It's just amazing. So you bring him in, you don't bring him in. Like, I trust you to do what you're going to do, and they're going to make the right decisions. They've been pulling all the right strings, and we have to give we have to give Kwesi his flowers, because we reported last year that there was trouble in the building, possible trouble in the building, that if Kwesi struggled or whatever, that KOC was there for the long haul and Kwesi wasn't. I think Kwesi has really earned, and he's the first one to say, yeah, I did some things early on, this year that I thought was, I was trying to do that and I can't do that. And he's learning as he goes too. And now, I mean, look at the pickups: Jonathan Gennard, Van Ginkel, Aaron Jones, Sam Darnold, and now Daniel Jones. Like, dude, maybe you can't draft him. You got JJ, but wow,
we're shy another left tackle,
which
that sucks. Our backup went down.
Well, here's the thing. I was going to look at that too. The injury report.
Yeah, let's pull up. Let's talk Cardinals quick and get out of here.
So the injury report as of today, Josh Oliver did not practice, wrist and an ankle. Harrison Phillips, not injury related, just rest as a veteran. But Cam Robinson was LP, which is limited. Jonathan Bernard or Bullard is limited. Patrick Jones II was limited. Brandon Powell was limited, and Van Ginkel was limited with a thigh injury. I didn't realize that. But Cam Robinson was limited with a foot. So hopefully he's able to go again. Questenberry jumped in for him last week and did a pretty good job. I thought they kept Sam. Well, obviously they did. I mean, 22 for 34 for 300, whatever that was.
He got sacked a couple times, but
yeah,
you got to kind of expect that.
Yeah, 330 yards is his best yardage wise as a Minnesota Viking. So yeah, no, the injury report, the offensive line, but they just seem to next man up, and they really just believe in that and get after it. I mean, they're doing great. Obviously, nobody's going to replace Christian Darrisaw, but yeah. So the Cardinals are playing better than they have. Kyler Murray, a running quarterback, has proven to be problematic to us before. And he is shifty. He came off that Achilles, or was it Achilles or meniscus last year? But he looked strong. I mean, he's a little tiny dude, but strong, fast, hard to get down, low center of gravity. He's a problem. I mean, Kyler Murray's a problem for defenses. I don't know that I think they're better than 6-5. They've been playing at a high clip. My fear, I guess my only fear going into this one is that they kind of they take a sigh of relief. We just won 3 on the road. We had this gauntlet of a road thing. Now we're going home, and it's like, oh yeah, we're home, and then
got to lay an egg at home. Yeah, I mean, the Phoenix is playing good until last week. They only scored 9 points or something last week. The Seahawks pretty much shut them down. So we got some tape on how to do that.
Yeah.
But I definitely don't want to overlook them. I think they could be a real challenge.
6 points last week.
6. Yeah, I think they could be a real challenge for us. I don't see us blowing them out. I do see us winning though. I do think it's gonna be another win. So yeah, I mean, I don't even know what the point is of guessing a score. I haven't been anywhere near correct all year. So
I was kind of close, except for on our score. Now I had 31-13. It was 30-27. So
I wasn't anywhere near it. I said they weren't going to get a touchdown, and they did right away.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
My prediction went out the door.
Let's take a look and just see what we have going on here as far as
what's the line.
What the current line is. Yeah, that's what I was just gonna look that up real quick.
It's if I had to guess
on the old DraftKings,
I'm gonna say the line is 6.5.
No, I don't think it's that high. Probably, maybe. Minnesota Vikings. Nope, 3.5. 3.5. So that's basically that's
a home game. That's just home game advantage.
Yeah.
Wow.
Home field.
Wow.
Yeah, that's all. It's 3. Well, 3 points, so you get an extra half in there.
Wow.
Let's see. Vikings to win the Super Bowl odds are at what are they paying out here, or what are they offering? 214. It went up. I think it was 100. What did I say? It was 160 something. No, 199. It was 199.98 or something like that. It was just under doubling your money. So 214. So it went up about $50. But yeah, I agree. I'm kind of over the idea that we're going to blow anybody out. We've had some good games early on where we scored a lot and all this kind of stuff. I will predict though that Justin Jefferson is going to have a day, because I think that KOC, his first script is going to be all JJ. he's getting double and triple teamed, and so everybody else gets to eat, and I get that. But at the same time, you have to work. I mean, you have to keep him relevant. The only way that he continues to be a draw and a threat is when he gets he
gets those touches by when teams are getting burned by doubling and tripling him, and they're like, okay, we can't just let Addison beat us. Go put a guy in. Now he's only doubled, right?
Yeah.
Or God forbid you go man on man with JJ.
Yeah,
that's where he's getting his yards. Yeah,
that doesn't happen.
It's how do you not plan to take him out of a game? Like that's the JJ effect, like the Jettis effect. Like you can't. You have to play. You have to try to take him out of the game, and that leaves you vulnerable to these other players that the Vikings have in their squad. But you can't not. Like if you don't, it's like a guarantee he's going to light you up. So it's like
he only had 2 catches for 27 yards. Against the Bears.
And when they interviewed him on it, he was happy about it. He was like, I don't care.
Yeah, either I'm going to eat or somebody else is going to eat, and he takes so much of the coverage. So. It'll be interesting to see how the Cardinals play that. I'm gonna say though, I do think coming home though, and the way Sam Darnold is playing, I don't think that the Cardinals have that great of a defense as far as getting some pressure. So I think that he's gonna chew up a little bit. I think it's still gonna be a pretty decently scoring game, like around 30. So I'm gonna say like maybe 27-24. Maybe we win by 3. Maybe it's 30-24. Maybe we win by 6, something like that. I don't know. Arizona only put up 6 points against the Seahawks. I don't know. I might have to.
No, I guess I didn't take a peek at the Seahawks defense where they stack up.
Seahawks are playing better too, which we actually have the Seahawks. Ourselves going forward. Let's look. I guess we can quick take a peek at the Vikings schedule.
Our schedule's not easy on the way out.
Cardinals schedule.
Cardinals, Falcons.
Fox, NFL player brackets. There we go. No playoffs. Vikings schedule. No, I don't have the Vikings schedule up. Huh. I don't have the Vikings schedule up.
Well, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. I know we play Arizona, and then we play Atlanta, and then we play the Bears again. Then I think it's the Seahawks. No, then it's the Packers. It's the Packers,
Seahawks, Lions, and
then Lions. Yep, that's what it is. Yep. So but I'm going to say actually 27-17. I'm going to say we win by 10. We still win by 10. It's not a blowout, but it's a 2-score game. Which would
24-17.
24-17. 1 touchdown. 7 point lead. Win. Okay. I'm good with that. 24-17, 27-17.
Like I said, I just throw any numbers out there. I haven't been anywhere near correct, so what does it really matter?
It might be more.
Win is a win is a win. As long as we get the dub, I don't really care. Get the dub at home. Keep that momentum rolling.
I think as of right now, we're like 98% chance to make the playoffs, which basically I think means that we have to lose every game out going here forward to not make the playoffs. Like we're in. Like And like I said, I everything to me points toward Week 18, us versus the Lions for everything.
For the seed.
For the seed, for the North, for everything.
Well, I'm excited for football, for Thanksgiving football, because we got a lot to watch for, which is fun without having to worry about anybody on your team actually getting injured. So
tomorrow will be a big game. Tomorrow will be a good day to watch football, because the Packers. We need the Packers. Who do the Packers play? Dallas? No, they don't play Dallas.
A very beatable team, if I remember right.
No, I think that it's a decent game. I want to say that it's not a.
Really, you think so?
I want to say that it is.
I thought when I looked at it, I thought it was not good. Or I mean, it was like, they're gonna.
They might play the Seahawks. They play the Seahawks, I think.
Oh, what I mean? So we get a little sneak peek.
I think they play the Seahawks.
Are you sure?
I think so.
Let me look it up. I was just about to look it up, and then you said that, and I put my phone away.
I'm pretty sure it's the Seahawks.
Week 13. Let's go. Week 14.
No, Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, that's winnable for sure.
Yeah, at Green Bay. Yeah, Tua.
Yeah.
No, that's a win.
Yeah.
We need Tua to show up though. We need somebody. We
never know.
We need the Packers to lose 1-2, which I don't think it's going to really matter much because once we beat them, then we're just going to keep knocking them down even further. But anyway,
it's getting greedy. But if the Bears can pull, if Bears can pull the upset, and somehow Miami pulls the upset, like that's happy Thanksgiving to all Vikings fans.
Yeah, that would make our day complete. Yeah, absolutely. Well, because I mean, the history is not on the Lions side for sure. So you never know.
Well, happy Thanksgiving to you, my friend.
All of my friends out there in the interwebs, the world of the interwebs. And
we will see you next week.
See you, bye.
And I tell you guys I love you. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. And that will never change. I will ride with this group until they don't let us play more games.